of the presidency. Yeah, so that's that for the appointment of Mr. Steve Kuya as the new Minister of State, and we can announce that the Grand Cape Mount County Senator, Madam Dabbah Varpilah, she's also chair on the Senate Committee on Health, is already in our studios. We will play this music and allow her to catch a breath, and then before we engage. This is the Super Morning Show on ELBC Radio. My name is Varpilah. Come on, good morning.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So we got a lot to talk about. We got a county to talk about, the development. We'll talk about the roads, marginal roads. We'll talk about the health sector, since it did. But I will begin with you by giving, your reaction to the new Minister of State appointment. This is 99.9 Princess Fatou Gislo. Senator Dabbah Varpilah, I'd like to say good morning. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you at this time.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm glad to be here too. I'm good.
Great.
Morning, I'm off.
Yeah, but you're on recess, so you have enough time, to commute around.
Weather how it sounds until you start serving at the legislature. When you're on recess, the meaning of that is that the legislature is not in session, so we do not meet at plenary to debate issues, to pass bills and all of that. But we continuously work. Our offices are open. We are having meetings. Committees are working. And in between that, we visit our constituencies. So it's not all that reset as to being on vacation and lying home. No.
Yeah, great to hear that. I just want to begin with you by gauging your view on the appointment of Mr. Steve Kuya as Minister of State. You know government quite well. You know the importance of that particular position. What do you think?
Well, Steve Kuya is a familiar name when it comes to the workings of His Excellency President Joseph Numa Boakai, and I think it's a welcoming action of the president to take someone who knows the proximity of the presidency and someone who has worked with him over a decade plus during his service as vice president, and someone that comes with equally very cool and calm disposition. I think he's the best to serve. He has been in that office even during the presidency, so it's about taking on wherever the former boss starts and continuing the work. So it's a good thing to take someone who already knows the area and they're not coming to learn.
But you think what was the essential thing in that appointment? Is it because a lot of people say confidentiality because it has to do with the presidency? You engage the president almost every day.
Well, I don't want to go into that so much because it's the prerogative of the president to take someone who he think can help manage his office. And this is someone who has been managing his office, as I mentioned earlier, from vice presidency to the presidency. Steve Kuya, before this appointment, served as the deputy minister, you know that. So there are a lot of things that he able to carry on, that there will be no gap in the operation of the president's office as compared to someone coming new and getting to be orientated and all of that. So I think it's the best decision at this time. And personally, I'm speaking personally, not as a legislator. Personally, I think he's the right person.
Okay, great. We speak at a time when LBS had broken grounds for the construction of a substation in Cape Mount. How big of the news that is?
It is a big news. LBS is the mother of all radio stations in this country. I remember growing up in Robertson in that particular space where now we broke the ground. We had the the outstation office.
Mm.
I think they used to call it Lina. And that was the closest to LBS. We've never had national television in the South. Now that the people of Cape Mount are going to be opportune to watch the news, to follow developments, to have access to what is happening in the country across the other 15 counties. I think the other 14 counties, I think it's a welcoming news. It's also a development in itself because communication is important. As all we do, it provides education for even young people because there are a lot of social media, fake news, and all of that. Having LBS, not just going on the tour of our country, but going to stay, creating jobs, the infrastructure, all of those things are so good. So I think it's a very good thing for the people of Cape.
And do the locals have any kind of responsibility to the maintenance of that particular project? I want to say Radio Cape Town is also relaying this interview, but should the locals play a pivotal role?
Seriously, everything that you do, especially when it comes to development, be it infrastructure, be it self-development, it has to have ownership by the people that it comes to visit, that to benefit directly. So they have responsibility to work with the contractors to ensure that the contract or the project is implemented within a given period. Because we can't wait to dedicate, like I've said, the day we're breaking ground.
Yeah, you were there.
We are not interested in breaking grounds for flood. We want to break ground and see something grow, something come up.
Yeah.
And that can only happen by the community support, through the community collaboration with the contractors. And LBS itself, the management of LBS, in that sense, if they see that something is going wrong in terms of delivery of the project or the quality of work, they should be magnanimous enough to inform the management of LBS or to inform us as county leaders so that we can intervene in a timely manner to help carry the project on. So that responsibility is there. The responsibility of even having, because the contractors, as I saw them, they are not keep continuing. So
and that was a concern as well.
Yeah, it's always. But the fact that LBS put the tender out and people competed based on the PPCC laws and regulations, you will not always have people, unless if they are giving the guidelines to include that only Cape Mount contractors should place a bid. But if it were open to the entire nation, anyone from anywhere could have done that. And in that sense, our people now Cape Mountainers need to embrace them, work with them, and on the side of the contractors too, they should not, as they made a commitment during the program, import any cultural labor. And even some skilled labors can be formed right within Robertsport in terms of masonry, carpentry, and all of those things. They are there that they can include so that it become owned by the community.
Yeah, local labor.
Yes.
Yeah, that is quite good on the part of because if the local people don't see that, they don't get involved, they may not take ownership of the project.
Yeah, because we emphasize job creation.
Yeah.
During the life of that contract, of that project, it will create jobs. Let the local benefit from the jobs. Let them see themselves as part of it. And it's not just the jobs because of the salary, but the fact that they are part of it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they will say, we build it. So that comes with satisfaction within itself, that some way, somehow you have contributed your skill to something for the county.
Let's talk about something that initially generated some level of excitement when this whole thing about the Western Region Legislative Caucus came about, and there was this equal distribution of development. Say Cape Mount was responsible to develop the tourism sector in the Western Region. Bombing County was responsible to develop the education sector, and Bapolo County the health as well. Where are we with that? It seems as if the Western Region Legislative Caucus is non-existent.
It is existing, but we are working behind the scene. The caucus actually came into being when we realized, especially as we engaged the Western cluster, the concessionaire there in the Western region that comprised of Cape Town, Bomi, and Bapolo. So there was some commitment that they made through an MOU before they started their operation as a prior action to build the road from Tottenberg all the way to Cape Mount, Papa District.
Mm.
So when I got to the legislature last year, January, going through some of the documents that I met and having conversation with my colleague that I met, then I came to realize that they had made some commitment during some meetings that they were going to start building the road. And by this time, they had not started. So that issue was brought to plenary to invite them to find out why is it that they have not started the road. In our discussion at the committee level, we as Western Region legislators were invited, some on the committees and some of us outside the committee, so that we sit and discuss how can we move that path forward.
Mm.
In our discussion at the end of the day, then we realized that there was a need since the three counties share almost the same issues when it comes to concessions that are within the region. And
Yeah.
also culturally, we are the same people. We speak the same languages and dialects and what have you. So why don't we sit together and see how we can craft out
Mm.
a development plan for the next few years while we are in the legislature? And that brought about the birth of the Western Region Legislative Caucus. We are having meetings. We have developed
Well, it's
a
almost
development
we're
plan.
going to 2 years now. We haven't seen anything
So
tangible out of
listen now, let
that.
me give you. You see, when Liberian people say tangible, it means they're building some building or they do. But if you fail to plan,
Mm.
then of course it's difficult for you to achieve. And the legislative caucus is not the entire government. It's a branch of the government that has to coordinate with the executive and the other branch in order to achieve some of the things that we have laid out.
Mm.
For example, we agreed that we're going to develop a plan along those lines that you earlier mentioned. We use the comparative advantage of each county
Mm.
to project what development should go to that county. So for Cape Mount, because of the tourism features that we have, the potential we have to develop tourism within our area, we decided, okay, tourism will go to Cape Mount. And when you say tourism going to Cape Mount, it means that you're going to have the roads,
Mm.
you're going to have the road built, you're going to have the health sector improved, because if people fly in from other countries and come to Robertsport or Tala or Benue or any of those areas, or even go up the mine in Congo Mana River or go in the forest in Golakone,
Mm.
they should have access to medical facility, equipped medical facility. Because while on your tour, you could fall sick
Yeah.
as a tourist. So those things should be developed. They should have hotels. People need accommodation when you go into a particular place
Yeah.
on your
Hospitality.
holidays or what have you. So there are a lot of things that need to be in place for the tourism in our area to develop. Then we come to Bomi. We already have the community college in Bomi. And Bomi is centrally located between the two counties. So why don't we develop a Western Region University?
Mm.
That means that students from across the region can come there. We can put some investment, expand or rebuild the current community college and elevate it.
Okay.
Then we go to Bapolu. Bapolu already has the Emirates Hospital, one of the biggest in the region,
Mm-hmm.
potential hospital that can develop into a referral hospital in the region. That requires that the road to Bopolu got to be built. Because when you talk about rushing emergency patient, the road has to be good to
Yeah.
respond to that.
Yep.
That hospital has to be equipped, well equipped. You have to have the skills there, good nurses,
And drugs.
good, quality drugs, and of course you got to have the medical, the specialists in the various areas to respond to maternal health, to respond to general primary health issues, to respond to babies,
Yeah.
and child care and all of that. So we divided these things across the counties based on their comparative advantage. We developed that into a plan for over 5 years. And we endorsed that. We met several times, reviewed the plan. We have endorsed the plan as a legislative caucus. We set up a team to deliver the plan to His Excellency, President Joseph Numa Boakai.
Has that happened?
That has happened. We met and submitted the plan. He worked on the plan. He was very excited about it. He encouraged the move that we can approach our development through a regional effort.
Mm.
And he has responded to the caucus as we speak. He has written back to the caucus, acknowledging receipt and encouraging us to continue. And he has even asked us to work with certain line ministries and agencies that are kind of connected to the specific areas outlined within our plan, so that we can look at the overall national plan they have specifically for that region and look at our caucus plan to see how we can put them, merge them together and start working, so that where we are right now, we are on a break. Some of our members are either engaged in their constituency, some of them have traveled. So we are planning for a meeting immediately upon return in October. We will communicate that date to the executive so that we have that sitting to agree on the specific areas within our plan, that those areas are not captured under the national plan, so that we can bring it together and begin work.
Because when you look at regionalizing development, if this works, I mean, because yours is a pilot of what will work in other regions. Say, for example, if it works in Cape Mount, Bombing, and Bapulu, it may work in Bon County, Magibi, or Nimba, that kind of regionalizing development. Because that is the reason why I'm placing emphasis on that. Citizens, the plan is good, the way you outlined it, but people want to see things happening, and we don't know how long it's going to take, for us to see the Bombing Community College elevated to a regional university.
It's already the case. It's already the case. The law has passed establishing a Bombing University.
Okay.
So by the next school year, probably it will come into effect. These things have legislative actions that do take time, because documents have to be reviewed. There have to be hearings. There has to be a process through which our colleagues from other countries are convinced that this is the right thing to do for the region, for that to pass into law, which has happened already. So it's step one. Step two is now to engage to get the right budgetary allotment to begin attracting the right skills and qualifications to go in there. And the allotment is in fact very important, because we have to start building, as I mentioned. We cannot continue to use the community college as it is for the university that we envisage. We want something that is really up to standard, that can be compared to any university in and out of the country.
Senator, what's happening with the Ravos Post Medina Road?
So the Ravos Post Medina Road, a portion of it was concession to, is that SSF? And that is 2.5 kilometers. The entire road is a little over 40 kilometers, so it's about a quarter of it that have been concession. And that quarter is from Ravos Port coming up on the road. So when you drive from here to Bowater side, you don't see the work. But the contractors started the work from Ravos Port up to a certain point. They are doing the building, they're doing the drainages.
So they're taking it from Ravos Post to
coming, yes.
Okay.
So they are doing the drainages and all the preparatory work for the asphalt laying. I've been consistently in touch with the Ministry of Public Works, the minister himself, his deputies, and they've assured me that because of the rain, they cannot start the asphalt. They have said that as soon as the dry season starts, the asphalt laying will begin. So I'm hoping that by next month, sometime before the end of next month, they should start laying the asphalt on the portion that has been concession. As to the rest, we are engaged again with the executive. And let me let you know that the president is very much committed to that road. Every time we talk, he in fact asks me, how is the road going? How is the road
Was the
going?
road pliable as we speak?
It is pliable, yes. It is
Okay.
pliable. It is pliable. But because there's no asphalt here, of course, the rains in that area, they're heavy rains, so there's always pothole. But it's pliable. I was just there recently, and your team was there too for the groundbreaking. So
One of the challenges that stalls the kinds of road work is the lack of money, finance. Do we have money for the roads, for our road to be done?
I believe so because I cannot say emphatically, yes, we have money as though I'm the Minister of Finance or the Minister of Public Works. But the fact that when I speak to the Minister of Public Works and he gives me this timeline, I believe, and in fact, that they signed a contract, they should have a source. And I can say, yes, there is money already for that.
Is that road going to be done before 2029?
Yes,
Are you sure of that?
I'm sure that our entire road will be finished before 2029. I'm sure of that.
Because when you campaigned, that was one of your.
Of course, I've always said that Robertsport or Cape Mon is one of the oldest counties in this country. It's not a newly formed county like other counties that came on probably during the 80s and onward. Cape Mon is the fifth county from the foundation of this nation. And it's one of the only counties that the capital city, as close as it is to Monrovia or Montserrat, does not have an all-weather road. And this is the cry of our people. And because we are representing the people in this government, we will continue to raise that in every space we find ourselves by any means possible that we can connect with the people across the aisle to ensure that that gets done. And between now and 2029, I can assure you that that road will be done.
You're putting pressure on the Public Works Ministry.
I don't want you to call it pressure because even in the AAID, the arrest agenda for inclusive development, the issue of road is paramount. So there should not be pressure. This is only a way of reminder that the people of Cape must see their roads. The road has a lot of it. It is a means by which the potential of that area will be unlocked.
Yeah.
Because we can't talk about tourism and people cannot. You need to wake up on a Saturday morning and say, I'm going to Robertsport and enjoy the clean and beautiful beaches. As we speak, within the West Africa region, that place holds the best wave for surfing. This is a sport that is not widely known in Liberia, but it's fast developing in Cape Mon. And we need to tap on that opportunity. Because as we speak, people come from Ivory Coast and other places just to go surf. Because the wave there is very good. The beaches are clean. But if you have challenge with the road, you will not have much of that happen. And we need economic activity.
Yeah.
With the road now, it doesn't encourage that.
Yeah. That road has economic returns. Let's talk about the Social Development Fund. I mean, I'm getting reports that B Mountain is not remitting some social development fund. The county is yet to get social benefits from B Mountain. Is that a case? Are you concerned about that?
Well, anything within the MDA that is a responsibility of B Mountain and it falls short of meeting that responsibility, well, obviously be my concern. So when it comes to, I don't know whether the person which specific issue that they are talking about, but I know that, I don't know whether you can recall that there was a specific money that was transferred to an escrow account that was supposed to be released to the county, and there was a little conflict between the leaders then and the concessionaire, no, the leaders, the lawyers, there was an involvement of Councillor Sano, and they placed a moratorium on the release of that money. That money is still sitting there, but as we speak, there have been efforts towards getting that money released to the country. So if that's what they're talking about,
but it's been mounting current with the benefit.
I need to check that because they pay the money through the Ministry of Finance before it gets to the country.
Okay.
So I need to check the facts around that to see whether they are current or not. But the only amount that was still outstanding, as far as I know, was that amount that was placed in our escrow account and went through some legal proceeding, and there was a moratorium placed on it.
And talking about the fund from the county, you know about the implementation of the Decent Work Act, the decentralization. The county council now does almost the big work. They allocate and all that. They're almost the higher decision making body of the county. And there's been concern about the independence of the county council and how they do their work without any political interference. Can you say that of the Cape Mount Legislative Caucus, that the county council works without any political interference from you?
Well, from me, definitely.
Not you. I mean the caucus members.
So when you say the caucus members, I don't know where telephone calls come from. I don't know where conversations go on in different spaces. But as a caucus, collectively, I don't recall placing a pressure on them or interfering.
Well, I got report of Senator Simeon Freeman.
There is no Senator Simeon Freeman in Cape
Simeon
Mount.
Taylor, sorry.
I
got a report of Senator Simeon Taylor, trying to arm twist some council members. I don't know if you know of that.
I don't know of that. Maybe you need to invite Senator Taylor to sit here to speak to that. I don't know of him trying to arm twist council members. I know there were issues about coordination, lapses and gaps within a coordination between and among the leadership of the country, that is the executive and the legislature. And I think those issues were discussed and trashed because there's a need. The issue was that we all need to know what is happening in the country. There were communication gaps. There were gaps in getting to know how monies to the country are allocated into which area. Our role as legislators is to have oversight. It's one of the cardinal role of the legislative branch, to have oversight. So if we are informed prior that, okay, this amount, 50 cents coming to this project, when I go to my constituency visit, I will see what is happening. I will ask questions. But if I don't know from the planning stage that this is what, or at the end of the plan, through submission of a plan or a reporting, then I don't know what to follow up with every person up and down in the country. So that was a concern raised, and we discussed it, and we agreed that once they're doing, like now they are doing their plan or how to call it, of their projects, at the end of the day, the bring to us so we know what to follow up on. And it's part of oversight. But if it comes to us interfering that we have to allocate the money directly, no, it undermines oversight.
But what's your own assessment of the council performance?
Well, the performance can be assessed through the report. Okay. When they submit the report to us and we see what they plan first, and we'll follow up on the plan to make sure that it's going through according to the plan laid out. And at the end of the day, the report comes, we'll compare it to see what was delivered, what was achieved. As I speak, just before we took vacation, the report came for the last 2024 budget, which was not preceded by the plan for us to check, against the plan to see what was achieved. But going forward, the plan will come at the beginning of the fiscal year, and then throughout that implementation, we'll be able to follow up on those areas. And the good thing about it is that once we have the plan, we have the budgetary allocation. It is even within our coordination and representation to initiate conversation with the executive to say what's happening to Cape Mount. Why is the Ministry of Finance not releasing the money to keep them? And it's in the executive favor for implementation purposes. So those are the reasons why we told them, yes, we have to coordinate, because we don't want a fractured leadership.
Because that retards development.
Yeah, it does. We only want to be coordinated in a way that we receive timely information, then we are able to follow up to make sure that some of the players we are delivered. The county leadership were very magnanimous in going around the county to assess unfinished projects. Some of them as far back as Madam Ellen Salif time. And those are some of the things that account for that. If the plan for these projects are well structured and considered based on the funding sources, then you know that within a period of time the project can start and finish. Because if you don't end the project, it doesn't bring any benefit. Yeah. It's a wasted resources that our people need. So these are some of the reasons why we ask them for this coordination. So we all put our idea together to say, when we agree, they say, okay, we're building 5-10 bridges. The executive, the council budget for those, allocate for them, and then the money available from the Ministry of Finance, then it must go on. If it doesn't go on, we have the right as legislators to question, why is this thing delayed? Or maybe we have not had the appropriation, or they have not disbursed. Then it is our role to also engage the ministry responsible and follow up to make sure that those monies are disbursed to them to do their work.
Okay, let's talk the health sector of the county, and I mean, as chair of the Senate Committee on Health, a lot of concern will be raised, or our brows will be raised about your county health sector. As we speak, what's the status of the health sector? I mean, I know there's this drug revolving initiative at the health center in Sinje, Jenna reported. But on the overall, how's the county health sector?
Well, I am the chair on Senate Health Committee, and that's a national position. It's not just for Cape.
No, but we look at your county first.
On the overall, yeah, I know you look at my county first, and before I come to my county, I have to speak on the national level. On the overall, as chair, there have been a lot of efforts over the last 1.5 fiscal year, beginning with the legislative action of increasing the budget
of the health
sector. That was the start. From 2024, we're around 80+ million, an increment of a certain percentage from the previous years. And this year we are around 90 million, an increment again, and we hope that will be consistent. But we'll come back to the implementation. It's no secret that we have had lay orders in having hospitals across this country, or county health teams receiving timely disbursement. And this is something that will continuously engage with the Ministry of Finance on it. They were delayed during the last fiscal year. This year, we have been following through. There are still like a little baby step taking, but they need to elevate that to make sure that these payments, these disbursements are timely, so that the people who are responsible for providing services for our people can also be held accountable. So this is where we are. Drugs do go, but I mean, if it is on a quarterly basis, one quarter should not run into the next 2-3 quarters. Those delays have to be erased, especially when the budget is performing as we are informed. So this is the situation. When we come to the county, in the county, there are a lot of clinics or structures that were built to house clinics. About 5 of them during Mama Ellen Johnson's time. As we speak today, they are not functional. And some of them are in locations that need the facilities.
Because some of them were built by politicians, and not ready turned over to the health ministry for supervision.
Well, turning over is one thing, but being captured within the national plan of the health ministry was somewhere. I think there was a little gap there. But as to the need as they are there. Some of these buildings, if not all, were not just built by politicians. They were built by the county's funding. The same funding we discussed. They were built by the county's funding. So it's government investment. And until those buildings become functional health facilities, it's a waste. So those are areas that even the county health team is now looking at. One of such buildings is in a place called, hugely populated locale called Butterhill. When I met with the health team in the county, they indicated that they want to get that functional this year. And the good thing is that the superintendent of each county sits as the chair of the board, the health board within the county. So the superintendent is in sync with that. We, the caucus, we, the legislators, are also aware of that. There are a couple of them in Vakiawe, in, I think, Jaja, in Kaula. Another one is in Tewo. I mean, very nice structures that have not been operational. That's one area. There are also this issue, and this is regional. When you look at the statistics coming out of there from the health side, maternal health is of a concern. We report one of the highest numbers when it comes to maternal mortality. And all of these are indication of how accessible the services are to women. During the past regime, I think during Mama Salif time, they established a thing called maternal waiting home.
Yeah.
Okay, in some of the locale where women who are considered raped, pregnant women, can come ahead of time
and wait there.
Yeah. Before they access their services when they are due.
Yeah.
But those places are being underutilized over the last
year. Should we reintroduce that?
They already exist in some areas. They just need to be revamped so that women can access it because it's important. You don't have many ambulances to rush emergency cases to facilities.
But even if you have many ambulances, you don't have good roads.
The roads are challenging. So it's good if the woman visits the health facility in the area and they are assessed to be having rates and the need to deliver in a facility that are able to respond in case there are issues during labor. They need to move to the maternal waiting room, wait there until they are due and they go through their process safely. What is hindering that, according to discussion with the county health team, is that, our family system, some families find it difficult for the woman to leave the home and go a distance. You need to have supplies in terms of food, basic supplies.
Clothing.
When you are not clothing, because clothing you don't need it every day, but you need food every day. You need some basic supplies to sustain you. So if you are in your home and you get 1 kg of bar soap, the entire family uses that until it's finished, right? But if you have to go a distance, then you have to have your own, which comes with a cost. So according to the discussion, these are some of the things that are having women a little reluctant about separating with their family to go to the maternal waiting home. So what we are working on now, as Senator Dabbah, you rightly say the health chair, and also being a woman and knowing what it means when women go into labor and the kind of services they need. We are working and we're going to start very soon to start giving the minimum basic supply to the full functional maternal waiting room. So we see whether that is going to encourage women to use those homes effectively. So that's something that will respond to the high rate of maternal mortality within the area. The Ministry of Health was also magnanimous in establishing a training program in a Bombing Community College, sponsoring a number of students, I think about 15, to go strictly into midwifery. So they will be starting the school year to train across the region. So students will come from the 3 counties, Bomi, Cape Mo, Bapolo. they hope the plan is that once they go through their training and they are graduated, they will be deployed in their countries of origin, and they will provide professional services to women going through pregnancies and then labor and delivery.
And some of the challenges encountered along that line will be, if not getting these people on payroll, or if they are volunteers, getting them compensated to have money to do that, because you wouldn't send somebody to school to render some kind of important service as that, and then you don't keep them going.
It is part of the plan. It is part of the plan. Once the ministry sends you to school, obviously over the time there will be allocation made. There will be plan to incorporate you and hire you through the civil service agency. The issue of volunteer is an issue that will also inherited. This government inherited volunteer, and it has been a long-standing issue even before the last administration. Because over time, people just show up and start to work. So when the government came into place, specifically the two hugely concerning volunteer area, that education and health.
Yeah.
So the government was quick to start looking into those to make allocation. But the processes required. You don't want to just because somebody came and started volunteering and you just hire them to start working in those kind of areas. Education, health are both human development areas. We cannot talk about national development without mentioning those two because they are key, very key. So you need quality in there.
Yeah.
So there was another process of evaluating those who are serving as volunteers to see whether they got the requisite skills, to see whether they need to go to training, to see whether they are qualified in fact to provide those services. Yeah. Those processes are going on in both sectors. And some of the volunteers have already been captured, and incrementally over the fiscal years, over the period, as we access more money, allocate more money in those sectors, volunteers will be evaluated and hired.
Yeah.
But for this program, the plan is in place to train and deploy. And the good thing about it, they are selecting or recruiting individuals from within the county. So you don't have to, because some of the things that we have in the rural service provision. If you hire people from Monrovia where they have 24-hour electricity, someone there, they have access to pipe-borne water, and you carry them in the rural area, it's difficult for them to stay there. Currently, the information that we get is that by Friday, people pack up and come to their families in Monrovia or other counties. So within that weekend period, when there are emergencies, it's a challenge.
And this is why I think the government needs to make taking assignments, whether it's in the education or health sector, taking assignment outside Monrovia more attractive, or say rural areas more attractive than the urban area. That will pay off. But before I come, we chose some politics in the discussion. Let me ask about. We obtained a data from the Ministry of Education. There seems to be a big gap in enrollment. More boys in schools than girls. You will say, well, it's because Cape Town is one of the most traditional counties. But that's a concern, right?
That is a concern to myself because I have this program of paying tuition, especially in public schools, for people who are actually struggling to go to school due to their income level or inability to afford the cost associated with it, just the minimum. At the, that Cape Town holds the only outstation campus of the University of Liberia, right? UCNJ right there.
Yeah.
But they have been challenged in enrollment. So my office look at it because education is actually key to me. And when you talk about education, women's education is even more important to me because of my own background from where I come and where I am today. I know how many of my own siblings, before I go to the community and the county level, smart potential women were denied of education because of tradition at the time. So I think in my role, it is my responsibility to encourage a lot of young girls and women to go to school and remain in school. Because we cannot be at the national level advocating for equal opportunity for women in terms of opportunity to education, opportunity for good health services, opportunity for political and leadership participation. And we fail to prepare those people that are supposed to have access to those opportunities. So in my program to give opportunity to students to go to St. James Trust Polytechnic, I set a ratio of women to men. I wanted 60% women and 40% men. But my team went across the country and we have not been able to achieve that. So currently I told them, okay, in order we said we want to pay about 100 students registration fee to CJ. So 160 of those and 40. Since we could not get that, I just told them, okay, whoever women are in the school currently, regardless, and these numbers were supposed to be divided across the 5 districts. So that would be 20, 20, 20 per district. So, but when it comes to the girls' child education or women's education, then we don't want to look at that ratio. Anywhere there's a girl child, regardless of the district they come from, they should be given the opportunity. Then the male can go according to the count. According to the numbers allocated per district. Yes. It's a serious concern, actually, that we cannot find that number.
Well, why do you think is that? I mean, there should be interest in investigating the root cause of that.
Well, there are a lot of things associated with it. You mentioned one, tradition. 2, the issue of education. At a certain time, even our past leader considered it a mess. I think we need to come back on the table as Cape Mountainians, in fact, the entire Western region, because this is something that is not only in Cape Mountain, and encourage the young girls to stay in school, to go to school and stay in school. And that's why one of my programs in the school year is to start a mentorship that will take me from school to school on the monthly basis. I visit about 2-3 schools and interact only with girls. Interact only with girls, take them through the pep talk, find out what their issues are, see how we can together agree that it's important to stay in school no matter what. I think with that, if we continuously do that over the next few years, we'll see that girls will stay in school. It was very disheartening when we got a report. I don't know how factual that is. I sent my education coordinator in the county to actually investigate that. One school reported over 20 girls dropping out of school because of pregnancy. And that should not be the case. That should not be the case. We need to get out there to talk to the girls, engage the health sector, the health facilities, and the health workers to see how they can guide these young girls, to see how they can speak to them to avoid dropping out of school because of unintended pregnancies. These are some of the challenges that we are having. So it's a serious issue, actually, and we need to change that around, because we always say the population of women to men almost 50-50. If we don't pay attention to the girls, we're going to lose half of our population production capacity because of these kind of issues.
Yes. And then the issue of gender equality will become an illusion.
Yes.
Anyway, you're listening to the Super Morning Show. Senator Dabbah Varpilah of Grand Cape Mount County is here. Senator, there are people, obviously those who oppose your government, who believe that, yesterday was better than today. In a sense, the past administration was better than your government that you brought to power. I mean, what do you think?
It depends. Liberian politics have come to personal gains. It depends where the person sits and how they see things. Obviously, if you were part of the government the last time, a government that didn't pay attention to what was actually happening in the rural areas, what was happening in terms of roads, what was happening in terms of infrastructure, what was happening in terms of keeping the hospitals open and regularly supplied, what was happening in terms of increment in budget in specific in more development areas, what will happening in terms of happening because it's not coming to me personally. But we sit here and see that there are a lot of works going on in terms of roads, in terms of youth development, in agriculture, in health. Then you say the government was better yesterday. Maybe it's from the person's specific position yesterday, and they don't find themselves in that position. I can only say we have to be nationalistic. We are not there yet. We are not even 50% or 60%. We just need to continue the way we started and improve every year. The government has been in power less than 2 years, and we know a lot is going on. The government talk about roads. The president talk about road. And roads are going on. The young man who was celebrating the road inside, no, is not a politician, he's not a government official. But the fact that he can leave from a particular point to another point in 1 hour, he's happy in the rains. People are going places. I can go to my town, Dabbah now, without thinking about it. So now I wonder when did I reach? Because things are happening. We are hoping that the yellow machines can come sooner with all the intervention the vice president has done, and that all the other processes, including procurement, can go into place so that by the dry season, we can see road work all over the place. All the things we're talking about, being able to monitor the schools, the roads have to be done. Being able to monitor the services delivered at the health facility level, the roads have to be done. So those things we are sure that within the next 6 months or so will be in implementation, given the kind of works that have been put in place. So if someone says and say nothing happening, then it's sad. But of course, this is the nature of the politics. I don't care what you do. People will oppose you. Anybody who wants to say they sleep with me. That was sometimes for me, I don't respond to things some people say, oh, Dabbah this, Dabbah that. I remain focused. I'm here on behalf of Kidman. And I will make sure whatever humanly possible is within my scope of operation, I will do it for Kidman. I don't expect 100% or even 90 or 75% Kidmantinians to say, yes, she's doing well. You know why? Because they had a different choice yesterday. And there are elections after every 9 years or every 6 years. In fact, there will be election. And they hope that their choices will come up to the stage. So you expect them to clap for me? No. So it's the same thing with the national government. I don't care what you do, there will be few people that will say, but listen to people who do not have any benefit, be it the last government or this government. Then they speak honestly. They don't speak because of their political conviction. Right? Yeah, they common people. They don't speak because of their political conviction.
Okay. I just thought to go a little bit political and respond to that. Call us on 080-514-096. By the way, the Minister of Finance and Development Planning will be here. We have a lot to talk about this morning. Call us on 080-514-096, 0775-677-376. Let's hear from this person here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Diwa, let's hear you.
Thank you, Mama. You are a mother. You are a mother. Thank you especially for the Christ that you are taking care of. Thank you, Mama. Let God bless you. I know that's your job, and you will do. Now, when the women, at least I heard some of the family for the boys. But I want to tell you something, Mama. I care what you're doing in this government. She go when I praise you. Because what they should have done, they never did it. Now it is going on. You hear shallow. You hear people talking, oh, yeah, we're happy. But I mean, and you hear other ones saying the government ain't doing nothing. No, she don't mind that, yeah. You're too able to do. God will bless you. Like, for all of us, when I leave this government, the other government that will come, that the same thing that is seen, like, we carry the government in your pocket. Yeah, we leave it right here. Okay. You remain there, that's it. So anybody who want to criticize, let me go ahead. Thank you and let God bless you.
Thank you, Diwa. Let's hear from this person. Morning.
Family, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Zero Whiskey.
Yeah, let's hear you from Grand Judah.
Senator, you have taken over 5 years to craft a regional banking plan.
You say what? You say she's done what?
Council have taken over, basically taken over 5 years to craft a plan. That is for the Western plan,
Okay.
and presenting to a president less than 2 years. What caused the delay? Is that because you were awaiting a Western president? Thank you.
Okay, let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, let's hear you.
Thank you. My name is Jake Tiger. I'm calling from Tanazio. Let me say morning to our chair. Senator, listen to it this morning. You very sorry about my heart guitar this morning, but you spoke to the issue and you are on top of your team. You will not listen to this this morning. You spoke as a national leader. You did not bring any part in the regime. You spoke to the issue. These are some of the reasons that making our country to be power today.
Okay.
Because of so, for you to see a reality, but you draw the reality and stick to the issue, it leads to the issue, you go into deeper battle. So let me tell my friends, thank you, and if people came and make no mistake by letting you.
Okay, thank you so much. Hassan, let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Kamala.
Yeah, Hussein, sorry.
Yeah, thank you so kindly, and let me say a pleasant good morning to your guest studio. My name is Hussein Eo. I call from Jacobstown. So let me appreciate your guest. But in fact, Kitman is referred to as the land of endless opportunities because we have rich resources. Can you imagine? Three mountains in our country, right? They cannot go up and meet up with their social corporate responsibility. The Kitman Student Association is benefiting nothing for Green Mountain. In fact, the construction that was done, Green Mountain producing cement, Green Mountain bringing their own petroleum products in the country, and it should not be, was not in that construction. Honorable Senator, when we go around other Nigerians, other people who from Nima, we work at home, because we have these companies in our country and the country is benefiting nothing. What are your things to over? What are your engagement with Green Mountain?
Okay.
To see how the country would benefit, positive the more expensive the youth.
Okay, thank you, Hussein. Let's take this last caller here. Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, what's your name?
Yeah, I'm Brown Jr. I'm calling you from Clear Street this morning.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to thank you for the show this morning. Good morning to the Senator. Yeah, Senator, thank you. You know, you came in still this morning with open mind. You never change with politics. They contribute for everyone else. If you're opportune to find yourself at a higher level, you serve your country. When you live for that today, your legacy will tell people, yeah, yes, I was a minister in power, they don't want to do this. The Senator did this. So we should not mind certain people that may use the opportunity yesterday to do the want to come back. For someone who not in government, we are also running to see for ourselves. We got year to year. See government coming up with impressions. Immediately time of force. Red person coming down, nobody telling you. So
Okay.
you can see them government in power. For someone who happen, nobody put money, nobody gave money, nobody put for who system to be organized by the government. That we all can live like it. See the street now, how the street clean, how the street clear. Yeah, that's what they want to see from the past government. When I want to pay your team blue barrel, you're putting on your ram barrel, and man, I'll wait you. All the things are going away, so we're heading.
Okay. Thank you so much, Senator. You can respond to the concerns.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. And let me say thank you to Madam T. Ward. She's always a regular listener to these talk shows. And I really appreciate the way she's involved. We'll continue to do what we can do for our people for the time they are giving us to serve them. The regional plan that I mentioned, probably you didn't get me through the person from Grand Chile. We did not take 5 years to craft a plan. As you are aware, we've been in office less than 2 years. The plan has been developed and presented to the president. the president has responded. What I said that the plan covers the period of 5 years, the initial plan. So probably that's why you took to be 5 years. No, we didn't develop any plan. With 5 years time, we're not in public service, we're in our private service. So we could not have developed a plan. What we have done, maybe we're through the others who were in position.
Okay.
But since we took over as a caucus, that's when we started the regional plan. And we have gone as far as regionally presenting it to the president. So I think that's an effort, and we have enacted a law for the university in Bomi. That is also an achievement. So we are already in the implementation stage for the cut-off from Benji. For the cut-off from Banase, you know, when you are in leadership and you want to lead by blaming, it's a recipe for failure. The reason why we came to leadership is to correct some of the wrongs that were happening. So when I sit and just be blaming, we have to work. So I can come up here and start blaming. I have to tell the people what we are doing to correct those things. And that's why we went all out in the rain, in the sun, to campaign for the government, because we know that the government was well situated, the leadership of the president, to correct some of the wrongs and start introducing things that we have not seen for decades. Okay. Like the issue of the road in the southeast and other places. These are things that never happened. The Western region is also on the fight from burner for road within that area. And by the grace of God, in the next 2 years, those things will be coming on. Uzi come from Jacobtown. The issue of BMMC is something that is a concession. We will continue to engage them, but not outside of the concession that was signed. And if you follow us during the campaign, this was one of our disappointments. When the renewal of the 25 years concession was signed, the new extension was done just within the campaign time, August 2023, which has a period for review. And the law provides that during that review, we will now sit and look at what was signed, what are some of the needs that you have, including the issue that you just pointed out about the young people, their education, all of that. And we sit down and renegotiate. And that was, as caucus, I think we are looking forward to come with open mind. Of course, that's me. I'm a politician. I'm the vice chair of the Unity Party. But when it comes to discussing national development, we have to be straight and to the point. For people to come and say the government not doing nothing, of course, we got a fake news. Everybody got access to how they call it, Facebook politician. They will say as the fee. Because everybody thinks to celebrate the government is a way for them to elevate themselves. So that's not our problem. Our problem is what is happening.
Well, Senator Dabbah Varpilah, we have to go. The finance minister is here already. Thank you so much for being on the show this morning.
Thank you too for having me, and thank you for keeping my continue to push you until that contract is enabled. I trust the leadership of LPS. Once you have said that you have the funding allocated for that, I'm sure that will be done within time. And we'll go by there to dedicate. Like I said, we cannot break ground for flaws, but for tangible development. Thank you.
Thank you. She's Senator Dabbah Varpilah of Grand Cape Mount County. My name is Varpilah Kamara. Next, I'll be speaking with the Minister of Finance and Development Planning.
Thank you.
Yeah. Not a commendation.
My boss is here. My boss is the Minister of Finance. Okay, there's something. I agree. You all right? Okay, I see you. Hold on, thank you.
Video for you.